This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Summer 70-73 Carryover League. We have a final matchup of first place teams playing in the top of the second round of the postseason tournament, which would technically put us halfway through the postseason tournament. From here on out, there'll be eliminations. Everything you see in the postseason will eliminate a team, and in the playoffs will eliminate a team. But tonight we're not doing that. We're just having the Las Vegas squad play the Cincinnati Reds. Oh boy. Yeah, David and Goliath kind of thing happening here. Let's just check the needs out first. We'll do that. We'll start with that. What does Vegas have to do? Because I'm assuming the Reds would have the advantage, and of course they do. So we look at the needs here as top first place teams. Vegas is 4 games over 500. The Reds 11 over 500. That's a net of 7 divided in half, 3.5. Vegas is 3.5 games back with 5 games to play to distinguish these teams through seeding purposes, meaning that Vegas would have to win 4 out of 5 to pull within a half of a game. They'd have the tiebreaker because they would have won 4 out of 5, so they'd have to play a tie-breaking game 6 and win that one. Vegas needs to win 5 of 6 games against the Big Red Machine. So, well, let's take a look what happened in Game 1. Game 1, it is Woody Fryman versus Don Gullett, battle of lefties. And Vegas, look, I'm gonna pound you guys. I'm gonna, punish you guys. I'm gonna send you to the principal's office. If you're going to play the Cincinnati Reds, this is what you don't do. You don't get a single and a double in your first 3 batters of the game and not score them. And then don't get a single, hit into a double play. 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 Get a walk, hit into a double play. It's the Big Red Machine. Hello, Las Vegas. You're not playing Round Rock or Portland or Albuquerque or Santa Fe. This is the major leagues. And the Reds are having a hard time staying awake in this one. They get an RBI. No, they get a single by John Vukovic. John Vukovic got 2 hits in this game. 2 for 3. He hits 160. He got a hit, and Pete Rose got a sac fly. Ted Savage, the designated hitter for the Reds, hits a solo homer. Tony Perez hits a solo homer. And that's 3 runs in 6 frames. And Don Gullett, in the 9th inning, makes this interesting. He walks Ken Berry, he walks Tommy Davis, and Vegas actually says, oh my goodness, we're in the 9th inning against the Big Red Machine, and we got the tying run at the plate. So after a pop out by Tim Cullen, Ron Hansen hits his first double play of the game. And the Vegas squad had a tendency to rotate those double plays. As Jim Nettles got one, Ken Berry got one. Everybody gets a check. A-Rod got one. Oh, Nettles had 2. Nettles wins the double play award. He hit into 2 of the 6. Tommy Davis had 1, and of course, Hansen ends the game with 1. So there it is. The final score is 3-0. But I think the Reds fans were just having to get together, and it was their team won, but it wasn't wasn't much of anything. So that's what happened in game number 1. Vegas now has to rip off 5 straight wins. Oh, that should happen, right? Yeah, right. So that's what we have tonight. We have a game 2. When we look at the overall standings after that, let's go to the Mountain Division. So here, now you see that the Rockies get a half a game. Vegas is not safe at all. Particularly if the Reds win this one. This series is over. They're +2. And then the Rockies can catch them, or even the Diamondbacks could theoretically catch them. Vegas could actually even get knocked out altogether and not make the playoffs in this division. Because we still have the Astros and the Giants alive. We still have, yes, the Pirates are still alive. The Cardinals are still alive. Braves and even the Marlins are still alive. So you got to win baseball. You can't just take your foot off the gas. I mean, if you're the New York Mets, you could take the foot off the gas, as we saw in the previous video. But they still won that series by splitting. And the Reds, they've come to realization they're just not going to catch the Mets for the top seed, because even if they win this game and go 23-10, they would be a half game behind the Mets, 23-9. Mets have the tiebreaker against the Reds. They beat them 3-2 earlier in the year. No biggie. Cincinnati, you're fine. Take the number 2 seed. Be happy with it. Don't go on a losing streak now. Just get rid of Las Vegas and enjoy the time off. Hang out at the Six Flags or something. I don't know. All right. Or what's it, Kings Island or something like that? I don't remember. Anyway, game number 2 in, oh my goodness, game number 2 in Cincinnati, we have Ray Culp for Las Vegas. His 1970 card for Boston was 17-14, 3.05 ERA. Red Sox didn't need him, believe it or not. Red Sox have very good starting pitching. And the Reds will send Gary Nolan's 1972 card to the mound, 15-5 with a .99 beauty show ERA. All right. Leading off for Vegas is Tommy Davis, 48, single one to 16, rolls a 20. Ted Kubiak, 64, bounce to short. Concepcion's a 2 at short, E21, makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Ron Hansen. 1-2 is a Lomax. Bottom of 1, it's Bobby Tolan of the Bells, 34, pitcher. Pete Edward Rose, 69, rolls a second. And Tony Perez, 1-6. 1-6? 1-6? Let's take a look at 1-6. My goodness, folks. Near the top of the MVP race in the National League, it seems like Hank Aaron and Tony Perez are nose for nose. Aaron has better stats. Perez's team is doing better. Perez's competition might be his catcher, Johnny Bench, hurting Perez in getting the MVP vote. But yeah, that award will be announced before the playoffs begin. I'm leaning to Hank Aaron at this point. Solo shot. Tony Perez and the Reds are 24 outs away from a sweep. Johnny Bench, 49, second X. This would be Kubiak is a 3.29 at second. And that's a base hit. Lee May, 68, skies are right field. Top of 2, Art Shamsky, 68, pops to first. A-Rod, 3-6, homer, 1-4, double. That's a 2-base hit. Jim Nettles, 6'10", third X. Oh boy, this is Tony Perez. He's the 40-37 third baseman, and he makes an error. Yeah. They used a defensive first baseman in game 1, and they'll probably bring him in at some point in this game. Runners in the corners, 1 out. They're going to bring it up. Just something to do. Ken Berry with the infield up. 39. Lefty question mark. Can we run A-Rod? 14, 15, 16. But Bernie Carbo has a -3 arm, and they're not going to challenge it. Can't run enough. 13. It's 14 or better for the away team. And the math suggests that A-Rod would have needed a 13. And so he's held up. That's how we play the constants and variables away and home in solitaire. Bernie Carbo, so with 2 outs, it'll be Ron Hodges. 1-6, take a look at Ron Hodges' card. See, that was a good thing. By not tagging up, you get a base hit to right field, so you score the run anyway. And Jim Nettles is a 14 runner. See that 14? He gets to go to run the third on the throw. It is 1-0 Vegas. Runners on the corners and 2 outs, and it's John Bacabella. 65, skies the center. Well, Vegas got a lead. No, they didn't get a lead. It's 1-1. My bad. They got a tie. There you go. Bottom of 2, it's Bernie Carbo. 410, center X. Oh, I don't have to roll. Don't have to roll on center X because Ken Berry is a 1-0 center fielder. Wow. And on an expansion team to boot. Dave Concepcion, 411, right X. This is Shamsky. Yeah, 4E3 in right field. That's where you want to hit it, Cincinnati. Base hit. Don't hit it to center. Hit it to the corners. Concepcion at first. Tommy Helm's going to try hit and run here. And it has worked to perfection with a 2, which means even Helms ends up on second. Second and third. 1 out. Bringing the infield up because they need all the help they can get. Jim Stewart, the infield up 56 is a K off the Culp card. And with 2 outs, it's Bobby Tolan of the Bells. 68, and Culp gets him to sky to center. Vegas sticking around in this one. Top of the third, Tommy Davis. 35's a single. Ted Kubiak. 5'10 catcher card. This is Mr. Bench. It's going for the foul out here as a 1. 1E7. See if we can get this thing. And we do. No pass ball. Runner holds at first. For Ron Hansen. 34. Short B. And with 2 outs, Art Shamsky, 53. First C. Nolan looking good. Bottom of the third. Pete Rose. 57 off Culp's a K. Tony Perez, 67's a K. And with 2 outs, Johnny Bench, 57 is a K. Ray Culp. He is, you know, I tell you, Ray Culp could have been had by the Reds in the offseason. He was on the trading, whatever you want to call it, the trade carousel. Portland was sitting him out there, and the Reds decided they wanted Dick Bosman instead of Ray Culp. And that decision may be dubious. Culp's had a better year. Let's go to the top of the fourth. A-Rod, 2-7, double 1, single. Jim Nettles, 59, center. Ken Berry, 47, is a single to center off of the Nolan card. A-Rod, does he go coast to coast? Not against the -2 arm of Tolan. First and second, 1 out, Ron Hodges. 1-4 is a 4, 6-3, double play. They still can't get those double plays out of their system. Bottom of the fourth, Lee May. 54 lines out. Bernie Carbo, 58. Another strikeout by Culp. And Concepcion, 59, rolls to second. 8 in a row after putting runners at second and third in the second inning there. John Boccabella, 1-2, fouls out. Tommy Davis, 2-6. Let's take a look at the Tommy Davis card. Yeah, Tommy Davis. To the point of his career where he starts playing for multiple teams, Dodgers, A's, Orioles, to name a few. 71, he had 324 as a jack of all trades, master of none, and plus a +4 arm to boot. But they let him play designated hitter and lead off because of all the on base and so forth and so on. 2-6 is a base hit. Ted Kubiak, 54, pops the third. And with 2 outs, it's Ron Hansen. 49 off Nolan, bounces to second, but it's Tommy Helms. The Reds, they finally figured out how important it is to get great defense around their pitching staff, and they have a 1 in Tommy Helms. They got a 1, John Vukovic, as a backup third baseman. Concepcion has been upgraded to a 2. They have Carbo as a -3 arm, as you saw earlier in this game, preventing a sac fly from happening. Pete Rose is still 1 -2E4 in right field. So the Reds feel that they have all the ingredients to finally get that World Series trophy. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's Tommy Helms. 46, they hit Culp. Double 1 to 8. Single. Jimmy Stewart. 43, left X. This is Jim Nettles, a 2E7 in left field, and a cheap double. A double off a 2 left fielder. That's a tough break for Vegas. Second and third, nobody out for Bobby Tolan of the Bells. Infield has to come out. He's an A bunter. 69 rolls to second. The runners have to hold. Pete Rose, we're going to keep it up for Pete. Pistol Pete Rose, 4-4 off of Culp. Homer, 1-2-12. Double hit is the roll of a 9, and it's gone because Mr. Rose has power both ways. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Pete Rose, power both ways in 1970. Let's look at the card. This is the big reason why we did not take the 1973 most valuable player of the National League, that version of Pete Rose. It's 338. We like this Pete Rose much better. Plenty of power, 15 dingers, 37 doubles, and 6 triples. and he walks more, and he's a better base stealer, and he's a better fielder. So he's better in 70 than when he wins the MVP 3 years later. Of course, he can't win the MVP on this team. He'd be in third place behind Bench and Perez. So, 4-1. Tony Perez. 2/8 K. Now with 2 outs, Johnny Bench. Flies left. All right. This is pretty interesting to see this year that Johnny Bench carried the Reds last year, was the MVP, had 24 home runs in like 60 games or whatever it was. And he was like the star of the show. This year, we're seeing that Tony Perez is kind of the star of the show. Bench is up there. Pete Rose is having a huge year as well, as is Lee May. So they're really doing, you know, machine stuff, not individual cogs. But the whole machine has been rolling this year. And we're hoping that'll get the Cincinnati Reds to the League Championship Series and maybe a World Series. Let's go to the 6th. Art Shamsky will lead off. 46. Double on a 4 is a double. A-Rod, 33, lines out. Jim Nettles, 110, rolls the pitcher. And Ken Berry, 210, rolls the short. If you're wondering, folks, how does the mighty Cincinnati Reds draw the expansion team? That's on a rotating basis. It's the division you don't play in the regular season. Regular season, the Reds had to play the San Francisco Giants, first place team, the New York Mets, first place team. So now they get the cupcake. Last year, the cupcake went to the New York Mets in last year's postseason. Mets played Las Vegas. Mets won the World Series. Very interesting. Very interesting. Bottom of the 6th. It'll be Lee May. 110. Skies the center. Bernie Carbo, 2-4. Skies the right. And Concepcion, 35. Skies the center. The John Vukovic will come in and play third base, and Perez will go to DH as a defensive substitute. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, we'll go to the 7th inning. Gary Nolan seems to have things under control. It's 4-1. Top of the 7th. Ron Hodges has the RBI for the Vegas squad. 1-5. Homer, 1-10, fly ball. He rolls a 17. Tough break there for Ron Hodges and Vegas. If you're wondering, Hodges had that 1 homer in 127 at-bats. He does not have power, by the way. It's the only way he can hit that homer. John Boccabella, 2-8, rolls the 3rd. And Tommy Davis, who is 2 for 3 today. 4-7 off Nolan is a base hit. Ted Kubiak, 1-4, skies to center field. Stretch time here in Cincinnati. We have been enjoying the Isley Brothers, giving it back, 1971, doing a lot of covers, doing some CSN and Dylan and War and, you know, a lot of cover songs here. Nice LP. Nice LP. All right. Bottom of the 7th. Ray Culp will continue. He has had some tough breaks with the long ball, but he is the ace, the #1 starter. He will continue into the 7th. Tommy Helms, 2-6, pops to 2nd. John Vukovic, 4-4. Vukovic looking for his second hit, or first hit of this game. He had 2 hits in the first game. 4-4 off Culp, homer 1-15 is going to be a single because he doesn't have power. Bobby Tolan the Bells. Ray Culp's a starter 8, by the way, so I don't think he's even going to come out. Tolan, 67 is a K. And with 2 outs, Pete Rose. 2-5, a single to center. 2 on for Tony Perez. 1-10, Tony Perez with a single to right. This is Vukovic. A 10 runner, 11-12. Shamsky, though, is a plus arm. Plus 1 arm. He's going to run with Bench at the coming up. He's going to run anyway. And he scores on a 10. So, being aggressive to get a 4-run lead. Vukovic scores. Pete Rose goes to 3rd on that throw to the plate. So we have Rose at 3rd, Perez at 1st. Johnny Bench is the hitter. 1-6 for bench. Let's take a look at the card. My goodness, the 1970 card. It's kind of getting sort of melancholy, as this card will eventually be out of the league at the end of this year. So I'm savoring every moment that I get to swing Johnny Bench. He's gotten, what, 2 or 3 MVP awards. Probably won't get it this year. But 1-6, single to left field, will score Pete Rose. Perez holds at second, and I think we maybe should get Mr. Culp out of there after 6 2/3. The writing is on the wall, and Vegas wants to get out of this with some dignity if they can. Tom Dukes will come on in the 7th. Let's see if he can get the final out. It'll be Lee May. Tom Dukes to Lee May. 46 is a K. All right. Gary Nolan is a starter 7. The Red bullpen has been underworked this year. That's also great news. It's a great bullpen. Don't get me wrong. Clay Carroll's a 2-year scoreless streak, for Pete's sakes. But it just shows that Gullett, Nolan, Grimsley, and Bosman have all gone late into games, something the Reds have not been always able to do. Ron Hansen, 2-5 single. Art Shamsky, former Met. 1-7 is a single. Here comes Vegas. They're a little tough team. They're not going to lay down here. They got to break Nolan and get him out of there, though. A-Rod. 110, Sky's the center. I'm smelling a double play, folks. I really am. We've only had one this game, and it's Jim Nettles. 2-3, no sir. Let's take a look at the Jim Nettles card. 2-3 is a 3-run home run. And folks, what is going on? Vegas has woken up here in the 8th inning. We got a 6-4 game. Sparky Anderson's shrugging his head, realizing as a courtesy he let Nolan pitch, but he knows better to bring his bullpen in. In the 6-4 game, that's going to be it. 7 1/3 for Gary Nolan. And I think, let's start with a lefty. See if we can get some lefties out of here, if possible. It'll be Jim Strickland, acquired from the Twins in the offseason. Situational lefty will come on in the 8th with Clay Carroll warming to face Ken Berry. The pitch to Ken Berry. 63, pitcher X, and Strickland is an is an E38. That's one part of the defense I can't check. That's the pitcher's, yeah, 2 E38 pitcher. But look at the break the Reds got. A 2 E38 pitcher, we get a GBC. Oh my goodness, like a, what, 80% chance of getting an error there or something like that. The out is recorded. Tough break for Vegas. They cut it to 2 runs. We got a ball game, folks. There's a reason why Vegas is at the top of their division. They don't lay down. They have not laid down today. 3-run game in game 1, 2-run game in game 2. It's Bernie Carbo, bottom of the 8th. 55 off Dukes, bounces to second. Kubiak's a 3E29 at second base. Makes the play. Concepcion, 210. 210! Let's take a look at Concepcion's card. Where did this come from? 210 automatically gone. 8 home runs and 350 plate appearances in 1973 with a 287 average. More importantly, though, a 2 at short, as he finally gets that great range we know him to have by the mid-70s. Early in the 70s, not so much. But now he finally starts to get it. He'll eventually be a 1, of course. 210, a solo shot. We got a 7-4 game. Tommy Helms, 47's a K. And John Vukovic, 1-4, flies to left. We'll go to the 9th, and we're just going to turn this thing over to Clay Carroll. He needs work. He's hungry. He's got a scoreless streak going that's of epic proportions. Oddly enough, the Reds season ended last year when Clay Carroll gave up his first runs of the year in a playoff loss to the San Francisco Giants on a walk-off homer by Willie Mays. Well, if you're going to give up a run or 2 in 2 years, giving it up to Willie Mays isn't a bad thing, I guess. All right, in the 9th, it'll be Ron Hodges leading off. 47 is a liner to short. John Bacabella, 62, rolls to first, and with 2 outs, it's Tommy Davis. 56 off of Clay Carroll's a strikeout. Another 3 up and 3 down inning for Clay Carroll. He got MVP votes with the 72 card. Matter of fact, if you can catch any of that 72 World Series against Oakland, they comment about how this red bullpen evolved into one of the first dominant bullpens from the latter part of the 60s and 70s versus all the other bullpens that were out there. It was a big story with Bone, and Granger, and Carroll, and the rest. Eastwick, McEnany, Sparky Anderson loves this bullpen. 7-4 victory for the Reds. They take 2 straight. Let's do the box. Look at some stats for the 2 squads. See where we're going into the next portion of the tournament here. Clay Carroll, another save, a strikeout. 2/3 inning for Strickland after the homer. And he, yeah. You know what? I didn't give these guys an out. Oh, I didn't put Hodges out in there. That's what happened. Gotcha. And Gary Nolan gets the win. 11 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The only ones that were damaging, though, were the 3 in the 8th. And the run in the 2nd was unearned. And no walks and no strikeouts for Nolan. Tom Dukes gave up that solo home run in the 8th. Got the final out in the 7th. Had 2 strikeouts. Tough loss for Ray Culp. 11 hits, 6 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4. They were all earned. No walks, 7 strikeouts. 1019, 0108, 712, 411. 0109, 0901. So there we go. Game 2. And there is that. We'll take a look at the stats for both squads here now. Vegas won the division last year, and to win it 2 years in a row would be somewhat of a surprise. These expansion teams don't necessarily carry success year to year because they lose a lot of players. Because the players they have are mostly extra players, and they're only good once every 4 years a lot of the time. So when the card expires, poof, you end up with nothing. There's no, you don't renew it with a better version of that player. Reds are 23-10, hitting .280 with a .391 ERA. Clay Carroll, 11 2/3, no runs. Yep, it's 2 years without a run allowed in the regular season or postseason tournament. Pretty crazy. Well, why don't you pitch Clay Carroll more? We have 15 home runs for Tony Perez, 45 hits for Perez and Rose, 44 hits for Bench. Love to see it. It's like the big, those 3, and Lee May, Bobby Tolan. They're all about the same. That's a good balance there. Now Vegas, 2018, Vegas at 272 with 381 team ERA. Very respectable numbers. This is not a fluke, the 2018 record. They've been getting contributions. They have scored 143 runs, given up 162. So it is surprising to have a winning record when their net runs is a negative like that. Their stars, Culp's having a decent year. 93 innings, 3 complete games. Woody Fryman, 5 complete games. Offensively, what do you got? Hansen? No, Aurelio Rodriguez is 44 for 151. Aurelio Rodriguez hitting .291. Probably one of the high moments of his career there. 558 games in the books as we conclude the top portion of the second round of the tournament. We're going to plug in the result right here. And the Reds technically did pick up a game on the Mets. Cincinnati wins this series 2-0. Cincinnati is 23-10. And Vegas was in the same predicament last year. Check this out, folks. This is not a typo. So Vegas lost this particular series last year to the Mets, which would have put them with a record of 20-18 a year ago. They have a record of 2018. It is exactly the same. 2 years in a row. Never seen anything like that. 20 and 18. Let's track the path. So what happened to Las Vegas next year? Can we do that again? Because they got the results. Vegas faced the Giants in the wild card round, and the Giants won that series 3-1. So that's what Vegas has to look forward to if they hold on and win their division. So a little bit of extra information there. The first round, first place teams are all resolved. The seeds should be resolved. The teams might not be. But it looks like the 1 spot will be the Mets, 2 spot will be the Reds. The 3 will be either the Dodgers or the Astros if they get on a hot streak and pick up the 1.5 games. But it doesn't look like the Mountain Time Zone will get out of a 4. And the American League, A's will get the 1. The Red Sox should stay at 2 unless the Toronto Blue Jays defy all possible logic and win every game. They would play forever, which is ridiculous. It's not even plausible. I wouldn't even distinguish that. The White Sox, I think they're safe at 3. The Twins are in a tough situation where they gotta like sweep their opponent and hope that they can get into yet another tiebreaker with the Chi Sox. I'm thinking the Twins ultimately become your wild card team in the American League. But I think the White Sox are safe at a 3. The Indians, they are not at the 4 right now. The Tigers are currently holding the 4 as the Indians dropped 4 straight to the Chi Sox. See, the Indians are a game behind the Tigers. But it's looking like the A's will have home field. That's the one constant here. Is the A's will have home field in the American League. When we get back, we will continue the second round of the tournament by starting to play third place teams versus second place teams across divisions from west to east and the middles. So West California plays Toronto, West San Francisco plays Atlanta, Middle Milwaukee plays Detroit, and then Mountain Arizona plays St. Louis, Ohio plays Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Colorado, and then East goes to West, Baltimore at Texas, Florida Marlins at Houston. And all these are 5 games to stay alive. And if you do not win these 5 games, you are done. So we still have teams with losing records here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with losing records. And the best teams are only 3 games over 500. Detroit, Houston, and dare I say, Toronto. Of the 16 teams, they have the 3rd best record. Oh, my goodness. That's it tonight. We'll see you next time.